Oh, wait, hold on. Is the right microphone? You guys, I am my normal scatterbrained self. Yeah. Okay, got this microphone connected. Whew, did that right. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Nobody is here yet. Oh. Fritz. No one wants to hear your mouth either. We have. Yeah. Okay, we are public. All right. Well, I'm gonna get started myself here. There has been a lot going on in my life the last 2 weeks. You guys have probably already noticed I've not been putting out videos like I have in the past. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew I wasn't feeling good, and I was sleeping. I was constantly exhausted. And it didn't seem to matter how much water or electrolyte drinks that I drank. I seemed to be getting more and more dehydrated. And I didn't think anything of it because I had my annual physical where she did a lot of lab work, and there's a couple of lab values that were off, but nothing. The only weird thing was the glucose in my UA. Which shouldn't be any, and it was off the charts over 500. But we're like, okay. For whatever reason, my A1C and my regular glucose levels were within what they normally are, so it wasn't like my kidneys are functioning fine. It's me. It's weird. It happens. I also saw my gastroenterologist, and my gut sounded normal. Physical exam was fine. So it was like, okay, I'm just not feeling great. Well, you also know about my car. We finally traded it in, got a newer car. So, not a new car, new to me, new to us. It's newer, so hopefully it won't be having as many issues as we were having with the old one. Have had no issues so far. Yay! It has started every time. I have to get used to the push button start, and then the fact that Ford got rid of the actual shifter thing, so it's like a turn knob shift. Oh, it's awful. I like having the extra space. That's great. The idea is wonderful, but actually using it, it's really awkward. I guess I'll get used to it eventually, and I have to get used to the backup camera thing. That's just strange. So we got a new car. We did not go to Powwow this past weekend just because we just had to buy a new car, and I wasn't feeling all the best. So we went to the tip of the thumb in Michigan, and I'm going to slaughter the name. It's the Point Aukbarks Lighthouse. And I wanted to go rock hunting. I'm like, the least I can do is get some pretty rocks at Lake Huron. Well, we went to the lighthouse because I also love lighthouses, and the tower was open, so we went to the museum. I climbed to the top. Well, I couldn't go all the way, look up to the parapet because it's a working lighthouse. So I'm boycotting the Coast Guard because they wouldn't let me go all the way up. But I did go up the stairs of death. It was crazy little, whatever. Anyways, so that was really awesome for me to go up inside a lighthouse and a working lighthouse, although it doesn't have the big, I forgot. It's LED lights now. It's all modern. So not the big, I cannot think of the name of the lens, the Fresnel lenses. Anyways, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a county park, not a state park. They had porta potties, so you had hand sanitizer to wash your hands. We stopped at McDonald's on the drive out. It was a 3-hour drive for us. So when there was some McDonald's, we stopped. I got some chicken nuggets because I needed to eat something. We'd taken their old Wisconsin turkey sausage sticks. You guys have seen me eating them here. I cut them up, put them in a sandwich bag, and we had that in the car. We left it in the car. Idiot, I know. Idiot sandwich going on. But then I also went down to the lake. I had my feet in the lake, shoes off, feet in the lake. I had picked up a seagull feather, washed it off in the water, centered myself, washed my hands in the lake, obviously without soap, picked up rocks, took it back to the car. There was like clay dust on my hands from the rocks. So I rinsed my hands off with water from my water jug. And I ended up eating the turkey sausage sticks, just not thinking. My blood sugar was dropped, and we were like an hour away from any sort of fast food restaurant or anything like that. So we ended up going to Sonic in Lapeer, and I have not been to Sonic in probably 20 years. Ate dinner there, and I was expecting my abdomen to hurt because of all the GI stuff that I have. Unpredictably on time, I had pain from the food moving. No big deal. We stopped at Walmart to get food for the next day. I get home and I'm like, okay, I thought I had food poisoning. I swear up and down I had food poisoning, all the symptoms. And given everything that had happened throughout the day, food poisoning is a very likely suspect. So I tried to go to bed, slept a little bit. About 2 a.m., I got up and I was just throwing up. The pain had moved in my stomach, or my abdomen. It moved center. It was constant. It wasn't crampy. It was like I was being stabbed. It was seriously the worst abdominal pain I've ever had. And I've had my appendix out and stuff. So, and my gallbladder out. And I literally was folded in half. I couldn't stand up at all. And I mean, just inhuman sounds were coming out of me. And my husband heard what was going on and came. We rushed to the hospital because I didn't know what was going on. And, the one nurse knows me. He's like, oh, we're going right back. Because I couldn't stand up straight. And the doctor ended up coming in right away. And before they even, he's got the bracelet on my arm and he's starting an IV at the same time, getting some pain meds on board, trying to get me a little bit more comfortable so that they could try and, do some sort of an exam. I don't even think they did a physical exam. I don't know. I was hurting so bad. They get me into the CT scan, which makes sense. And I come back and they're like, they did lab work and stuff. And my white blood cell count was almost 24, which is the top range of the test. They're like, there's some sort of an infection. So, raging. I'm like, okay. I knew I was extremely dehydrated due to the color of my urine, and that stuff was crazy. The glucose in that was 500, above 500. So we're kind of like, what is going on? Well, I have colitis and diverticula, and my intestinal walls were so big. I got three of the lactated ringers, so the 500 ml bags of IV fluid. They gave me the first one. Then they gave me 2 at the same time for the second and did rapid infusion and regular infusion. I had 3 big bags of IV fluid in under 2 hours. I went to the bathroom once. That's how dehydrated I was. That was insane. So they put me on antibiotics, and I basically slept the rest of the weekend. Yesterday, I'm still very dehydrated. I'm drinking constantly. Yesterday, I slept most of the day. I was up for about 4 hours. Today, I have been up since about 7:30-ish. Earlier, I was filming. I'm starting a new channel with my friend Shannon. It's gonna be called Give It a Whirl Girls. And it's going to be all about fiber, dyeing, spinning yarn. We're going to talk about knitting, felting. It's basically going to be a fiber channel. So if you guys, those of you that like to watch people spinning yarn, that's going to be my new channel, our new channel, her and I together. So we filmed this morning, starting off, our first video is going to be about natural dyeing yarn. So I did the filming for that this morning, raced home. I mean, I still have stuff at her house. Her and I live like a half mile from each other. So we live in the same neighborhood. Which is really ironic that I found someone else that spins that's my age in my neighborhood. That was pretty awesome. So we're starting that YouTube channel, but I still have this one. I have watched some court videos over the last couple weeks. I have recorded videos. I haven't edited anything. I have been so sick. Now we know why. And I'm starting to do a lot better. So I have to also make an apology. One of my live streams, we watched a video from a creator called Illuminati. And I know I've recommended her before. And over the last 4 to 6 weeks, a lot of stuff has come out about her as a person that I have to apologize for recommending her. I didn't know this stuff about her, but I still need to apologize because she is apparently such a horrible, horrible person. I don't want to go into it too much because that's like YouTube drama stuff. That's not really my genre. But she does cover like some law crime stuff. It started because she publicly accused Legal Eagle of plagiarism, and Legal Eagle obviously is LawTube. So it does sort of cross over, and I've recommended her. But she publicly shared someone's alleged unaliving note. I believe that person it's their note. I don't know whether or not it was their note for their unaliving, but she publicly shared that. You can just search Illuminati with 2 eyes at the end, I think. Just search Illuminati. You guys are going to find a lot of stuff about her. I may or may not go into it. Probably not, just because it's not really my thing. Unless you guys want me to kind of do a deep dive on the whole situation, then I will. Just let me know in the comments. So I need to apologize because I recommended her, and we watched some of her new content here together on this channel, and what she did is not okay. And she's not a good person, in my opinion. But let's get to what we're going to watch today. First off, I am not an attorney, not claiming to be one. I am not making any legal conclusions, nor putting forth any legal advice. All comments are my opinion, no matter what wording I may use. Just my opinion, guys. All persons are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And my videos are not the official court record. And I'll throw in there that the use of these videos is fair use. But wake up, mouse. Where'd we go? My mouse fell asleep, you guys. Oh, no. I have receipts. I don't know if you can read that. I don't know how well you can read that. Anyway. Oh, there's my mouse. There we go. Okay. So, this says, I have to pull it up on my phone because I can't read the screen. This is a conversation between Old Squishy Gardner and I. This is his video. I said, do you still have the raw videos from this video? If not, can I use your video? And of course, I'll give you full credit and you can copyright claim me so you get paid for it. Which would mean, because like my video's monetized, so copyright claim, he would get the monetization for the video for his portion of it. He said on Tuesday, hey Jess, just saw this. I am sure I have the original and will look tonight. So if you want to use mine instead of waiting, feel free and appreciate the copyright offer, but never a worry with you. So you don't need to report it because he's not going to copyright claim this. I would totally give him credit for it. But he said no. Now, go to that tab. Share this tab instead. Okay. Let's see. Theater mode. Wait a second. Oh, why is it muted? All right. Then, before we get started, I have one last thing. I'm going to put this banner on the bottom. One of my subscribers, it's Detective Rachel McRae. Her daughter is graduating high school, but does she not just have her high school diploma, she also has, I believe it was her CNA license, because she did like a vocational tech program, but she's going into nursing school. This is her GoFundMe for her daughter's nursing school to help cover expenses. So I am putting this up there. If you guys have a couple of pennies, you know how drained our healthcare system is. We need healthcare providers. We need nurses. We need techs. So I have the link for her GoFundMe. If you have a couple pennies, please feel free to throw it her way if you would be so kind. Now, this is in front of Judge Aaliyah out of Wayne County.
All right, we're on the record. People said Michigan versus Parnell Michael McCreary, 2356485. Mr. McCreary is charged with count 1 assault, 6 murder, count 2 assault, 2 rape, violent harm, less than murder or by strangulation. Count 3 weapons, firearms, possession by felon. Count 4 weapons, ammunition, possession by felon. Count 5 assault with dangerous weapons, 1 assault. Count 6.
Okay, so if you didn't hear, the first 2 charges was I think attempted murder, then great bodily harm, less than murder by strangulation. So this guy is facing really serious charges here.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Weapons, firing firearms, visual offender court and set for a hearing today. Appearances.
There's 11 charges.
And Lauren Yersepian on behalf of the people, P37.04.
Parnell Michael McCreary Gill on lowercase, natural person, not a person. If I may ask this court a question, address the court.
No.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Earl Washington, Neighborhood Defender Service, P31383, as the standby attorney.
What's your question?
First, I would like to object, no disrespect to.
He's a Moorish Sovereign Citizen, guys.
He does not represent me.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, Lord, have mercy.
Objection has been noted on the record.
And the
You have a
prosecution and them are.
You have a question?
Yes.
What's the question?
I didn't know that the court would allow the prosecution to commit felonies in violation of state and federal law.
That's not a question. Okay, so we have appearance on the
Also,
record.
the question
You're not
is,
gonna talk over me then.
I am,
So we have Attorney Washington at standby
Wait.
counsel. He does not represent you, but in the event that you need help, he's there to help you. This is your request.
Did she just said you're not going to talk over me? Did he just say yes I am? Wait a second.
but he does not represent me.
I know that.
Okay, yes, but the
Your
prosecution,
objection has been noted on the record.
and the
You have a
prosecution
question?
and them are,
You have a
constant.
question?
Yes,
What's the question?
I didn't know that the court would allow the prosecution to commit felonies in violation of state
Okay,
and federal
that's
law.
not a question, that's a statement. Okay, so we have appearance on the
Also,
record.
the question
You're not
is,
gonna talk over me then.
I am,
So we have Attorney Washington at standby counsel.
it's a violation of state
Okay,
and federal
that's
law.
not a question, that's a statement. Okay, so we have appearance on the
Also,
record.
the question
You're not
is,
gonna talk over me then.
I am,
So we have Attorney Washington at standby
Yep,
counsel.
he said yeah I am.
He does not
I
represent
am.
you, but in the event that you
Wow.
need help, he's there to help you. This is your request that we're all here today, so you can begin with your request to the
I don't, he's not representing me.
We've already established
Yes.
that, so you can begin.
Yes.
I have your documentation here, so you can start.
I haven't had anything from the prosecutor's office. You gave the prosecution 2 orders to give me discovery under People versus Daisy. The 225 Michigan Appeals 592, violation of a discovery order is grounds for dismissal. Also, I would like
Oh,
that the
Lord.
court, as well as the people, provide their bond numbers, their licenses to practice law. Yes, and their oath of office. Because right now, at this point, I'm being violated. I would like to also have Kim Worthy here, the chief prosecutor, because she has committed crimes past and present. I would like a change of venue because DPD has been continuously retaliating over years. It's real documented.
Sorry about that, guys. Hold on. Got a new mouse and I don't like it. It has little side buttons on where your thumb goes, and you hit it and it goes back and forth. So it literally forwards the back and forth on the pages. Not good for the situation. Okay, I'm going to go back.
Commit felonies in violation of state
Okay,
and federal
that's
law.
not a question, that's a statement.
There.
Okay, so we have.
I
Also,
apologize. This
the
mouse
question
is
You're
not
gonna
a good
talk over me
one.
then.
I am,
So we have Attorney Washington at standby counsel. He does not represent you, but in the event that you need help, he's there to help you. This is your request that we're all here today, so you can begin with your request.
There we go.
I don't, he's not representing me.
We've already established
Yes.
that, so you can begin.
Yes.
I have your documentation.
Hey, Rachel.
Start.
I haven't had anything from the prosecutor.
So the lady I was talking to you about, whose daughter is going to nursing school, Detective Rachel McCray, is in the house. She's here. Yay! I have your daughter's GoFundMe going across the screen. I already talked about it. I know you never asked me to do that. I'm doing it. I'm going to start this video over for you because I have messed up all sorts of stuff today. All right. You are very, very welcome, Rachel. And yes, we have a more.
Record, this is People of the State of Michigan versus Arnell Michael McCreary, 2356485.
El Bay.
McCreary is charged with count 1 assault, assisted murder, count 2 assault, to be written by the crime of less than murder or by strangulation. Count 3 weapons, firearms, possession by felon. Count 4 weapons, ammunition, possession by felon. Count 5 assault with dangerous weapons, 1 assault. Count 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weapons, starting firearms, visual offender, 4th and 5th. Set for a hearing today. Appearances.
Edwin Milwaukee, P 54828, appearing on behalf of the people.
And Lauren Yerkesian, on behalf of the people, P37.04.
I did actually
My
record.
inquiry, on lowercase, natural person, not a person. If I may ask the board a question, address the board.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Earl Washington Neighborhood Defender Service, P31383, as the standby attorney.
Poor guy.
First, I would like to object, no disrespect to that's why you're here, but he does not represent me.
I know,
Okay. Yes, but the prosecution
Objection has been noted on the record.
and the
You have a
prosecution and them are
You have a
constant.
question?
Yes,
What's the question?
I didn't know that the court would allow the prosecution to commit felonies in violation of state and federal
That's
law.
not a question.
I love Judge Sabri.
Also, the question
You're not
is,
gonna talk over me
all
then.
right,
So we have Attorney Washington, standby counsel. He does not represent you, but in the event that you need help, he's there to help you. This is your request,
Perfect.
you're on here today, so you may begin with your request.
I don't, he's not representing me.
We've already established
Yes.
that, so you can begin,
Yes.
I have your documentation.
Only if he wins.
I haven't had anything from the prosecutor's office. You gave the prosecution 2 orders to give me discovery under People versus Davy. The 225 Michigan Appeals 592, violation of a discovery order is grounds for dismissal. Also, I would like that the court, as well as the people, provide their bond numbers, their licenses to practice law.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, and their oath of office. Because right now, at this point, I'm being violated. I would like to also have Kim Worthy here, the chief prosecutor, because she has committed crimes past. and
I
present.
don't
I would
think
like,
so.
A change of venue because DPD has been continuously retaliating over years. It's well documented. People have been lying, making false complaints. They're usually known perjurers. I've made reports to Detroit police, and I'm not being given the same rights as any other citizen. A person is being called in, and they're saying, well, hey, Mr. McCurry did this and did that. They come to my house. They bang on my door. They're impeding upon my freedoms, my sovereignty. They're a corporation.
Yo, it's called, they're doing their job. And where is there a question? Because you said it was a question. I'm waiting for the question. Honestly, if this was written out, it would just be all words, no punctuation. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, I had to say that.
Corporations cannot act upon natural persons. Now, the case of Coins versus Virginia, 19 U.S. page 264, says that it started in D.C. They incorporated inhabitants of D.C. in the states.
That's Washington, D.C.
I am not a corporation. As I stated numerously in the beginning of the space, as initio, I reserve my rights not to be compelled to perform under any contract or commercial agreement. I am a Moorish national sovereign.
Okay, I apologize. I got a new mouse, and I did not know that on the side, it has these little buttons, and those go back and forth for the browser. That does not work. It wasn't you, it was my fat thumb with these stupid side buttons. Those stupid things. Probably gonna have to buy a different mouse. Okay. We don't even want to talk about mice. We have had an infestation. Literally within an hour of putting out 3 mouse traps, we caught 3 mice. And then one day we caught 3 mice just under the bathroom sink. It's so gross. It's so disgusting. We have to wash everything. We've done it twice to get everything ready to go, cleaned and disinfected. It's so gross. So right now, like we're obviously getting rid of food waste, rinsing dishes, but we wash them and then we is like when we need them for the meal, which is really annoying. I hate doing it that way. It drives me bonkers. I don't like not having my dishes clean. I think all my dishes should be clean after dinner. Anyways. You can hear the mice in your neighbor's roof? Are we sure it's mice? Not like squirrels or chipmunks or rats? Because, yeah, I hate hearing them. I hate the scratchy sounds. A couple of years ago, we went under in our crawl space and I would be calling an exterminator at that point. We're gonna go under this weekend. Go under into the crawl space. It's only at night. Pretty sure it's rats. If you can hear them that loud, mice are not that loud. But this weekend we're gonna go and use the spray foam insulation and make sure there's nothing open. Make sure everything's closed up. You know, because mice can get in like a hole that size. Like they can like squish their little bones and that's so gross. Oh. Anyways, yes, I have a mouse problem on multiple levels. Let's get back to this video. Okay, let's get back to this.
As people have violated the Moroccan-American Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 28 June of 1786.
What?
Now, this quasi-contract that I presented to the courts, per the Michigan Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court, this matter has already been litigated. And this court, as well as the people, are in default. And again, they refuse to give me their bond numbers, their names, and things of that nature so that I may properly file a lien in the federal court, as well as I'm preparing a 42 USC 1983 case. Again, the state has no duty to protect private citizens from private citizens under the Cheney versus Winnebago Department of Social Services 489 U.S. 189, 1989. If you go all the way back to the Civil Rights case, the 13th and the 14th Amendments were created to protect African Americans from discrimination by city, county, and state.
Wait. I need to rewind that, like, and not stop doing an unboxing, because this dude, what he is talking about.
Prosecutor, because she has committed crimes past and present. I like a change of venue because DPD has been continuously retaliating.
You're not going to get a change of venue. And sorry, everyone that's going to complain about me pausing the video constantly and talking. I know I try not to, but this guy is a bit bonkers.
Over years, it's well documented. People have been lying, making false complaints. They're usually known perjurers. I've made reports with Detroit police, and I'm not being given the same rights as any other citizen. A person is being called in. And
sir, you do have the same rights. You think that you have some extra special rights, or that the rights that the U.S. has don't apply to you. So, if you're like a Moorish sovereign citizen, you're not a citizen of the United States, you're claiming you don't have any rights inside of the U.S. So, that doesn't work? How does make that make sense?
They're saying, well, hey, Mr. McCurry did this and did that. They come to my house. They bang on my door. They're impeding upon my freedoms, my sovereignty. They're a corporation. Corporations cannot act upon natural persons. Now, the case of Coins versus Virginia, 19 U.S. page 264, says that it started in
19 U.S. page 264. What?
D.C. They incorporated inhabitants of D.C. and the states, other states.
I need his cliff notes so I can I'm going to be looking this stuff up because this makes no sense.
Not a corporation. As I stated numerously in the beginning of this case, ab initio, I reserve my rights not to be compelled to perform under any contract or commercial agreement. I am a Moorish national sovereign. This court, as well as the people, have violated the Moroccan-American Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 28.
Okay. This is what I don't understand about Sovsits or Moorish Sovsits, whatever. I'm an American citizen. I go to Canada, right? I am still afforded the same rights that Canadian citizens are when I'm in their country. I'm not held to US laws. So a better example would be if I go to China, right? When I'm in China, if I do something that breaks a law there, I am then tried in the Chinese courts. I'm being held to the same standards as Chinese citizens are. I don't get charged or tried according to US law because I'm not in the United States. So you being a sovereign citizen, no matter what, you're still within the United States. So therefore, when you are within the borders of a country, on the land of that country, you have to follow their rules and laws. I don't understand how that is so difficult for these sovereign citizens. You're right. They do want special treatment. And it is the same laws as everybody else. I go to Mexico, I have to follow Mexican laws. I go to Cuba, I have to follow Cuban laws. I go to Russia, I have to follow Russian laws. Okay? That is how it works. Doesn't matter if you're a citizen of that country or not. It is completely irrelevant.
June of 1786. Now, this quasi-contract that I presented to the courts, per the Michigan Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, this matter has already been litigated. And this court, as well as the people, are in default. And again, they refuse to give me their bond numbers, their name.
Okay, if it's been litigated, where's the judgment? There has to be a judgment if it's been litigated, but there's no judgment.
And things of that nature, so that I may properly file a lien in the federal court, as well as I'm preparing a 42 U.S.C. 19.
File a lien for what? Buying a new car?
83 case.
A loan?
Again, the state has no duty to protect private citizens from private citizens under the Cheney versus Winnebago Department of Social Services 489 U.S. 189, 1989. If you go all the way back to the civil rights cases.
Exactly.
The 13th and the 14th Amendments were created to protect African Americans from discrimination by city, county, and state and federal governments. And it also says in this case as well that they have no duty to protect private citizens from private citizens. So to compel performance of these corporate statutes.
Okay, so either they're violating your civil rights or they're not. But so far, what you have said isn't a violation of your civil rights per U.S. law, which is what country you're in.
Which it speaks about in Coins versus Virginia, again, 19 U.S., page 264. They created statutes to corporately punish the inhabitants of the city of Washington and the District of Columbia, and it went down into the other federal territories as well as the cities, counties, and the state governments. And they're committing fraud against the people. These statutes that they have.
Federal territories? So Puerto Rico, Guam, the Marshall Islands, I can't think of any of the other. Those are federal territories. You're talking about the states or federal law. What federal territories are you talking about? Because in Michigan, you're not near any federal territory.
Be charged with are unconstitutional, and I ask per, I mean, even though you're in default, I'm giving the state another chance, but this right here is already locked in. They're in default because the law says where they have a legal or moral duty to respond.
That's correct,
Their
Rachel.
silence is their acquiescence, their tacit agreement. So they're in default, Your Honor. And I would ask that the court subpoena Kim Worthy here
Default
so
of
that
what?
we may put her on the stand to answer for her subordinates' criminal behavior as well as her criminal behavior. Have documents here where it's clear that they can I sit down for a minute? My back is kind of bothering me. That's
my back's bothering me too.
I would like Kim Worthy to be brought in so that she can be questioned about the change of venue, the allegations, which are factual.
Maybe.
But they sent me to prison for 15 years and 8 months for no crime at all. Judge Kirsten Frank Kelly was in Wayne County. She issued an order against me that was null and void. I was railroaded, sent to prison, did 15 years and 8 months where I lost my mother, family time away from my daughter who's now 24 years old. She's a mother. I'm a grandfather. I've been productive in the community since I've been home.
Sir, that is sad that your mother passed away when you were in prison, but you were in prison because you broke or violated a Michigan law. And considering your charges that you're facing today, which are attempted murder, attempted great bodily harm, or is great bodily harm less than murder, and I don't know how many weapons violations, dude, what the heck? You violated the law. You were in prison because you did something. No one conspired against you to put you in prison. It's a direct consequence of your actions. The fact that you don't understand that, like the mental gymnastics you are doing, dude, like, I don't understand these people. I do not understand these people at all. This just makes no sense to me.
Oh, they're trying to make me look like I'm thinking. But the paperwork shows the opposite. And I would like all of these things. I would like an evidentiary hearing so that we may put
and it's a you problem.
Documents into evidence and that this case can be properly litigated because the prosecution is committing crimes. So I ask that this court use this subpoena power and adhere to their oath of Article 6, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution, as well as Michigan Code of Judicial Conduct, Canon 2B. And the paperwork is clear. They refuse to respond. Everything that is happening now is criminal in violation of conspiracy, 18 U.S.C. 241, and in violation of Michigan misconduct in office, MCL 750.505. I have been humble with this court. I haven't been here just trying not to disrupt the court. I'm under threat, duress, and coercion. You know what I'm saying? They have with me.
It's a conspiracy because they're doing their job in following through with holding you accountable to an alleged crime that you might have committed? Like, I don't understand, dude.
Constantly been retaliated against the Detroit police as the sheriffs, as well as Kim Worthy's office. And it's well documented. They sent me to prison off
and that is a possibility.
And I would like all these things to be adjudicated properly in this matter.
If you want them to be adjudicated properly, you have to go through the proper channels. You have to file an appeal. Start with the Court of Appeals. If that doesn't get the case overturned and you go back to the lower courts and it gets retried, then you go to the state court, the state Supreme Court. If they don't overturn it, or they do overturn it and it goes back down and adjudicated against, well, then you would have to figure out what federal rights it would go, and you appeal to the Federal Court of Appeals, then the Federal Supreme Court. You work its way up this system. You don't sit here and try and make these claims about a completely unrelated case to a case that you're currently being tried for.
And jurisdiction has been challenged per federal and state case law. The people have to prove jurisdiction. They have statements The corpus delicti rule bars statements as hearsay out of court.
Oh, God.
And this is what they're going is they cannot make an affidavit for anyone. You see what I'm saying? My brother, as they claim, made these statements. I still haven't been given any discovery or anything. And they're in violation of the Michigan Court case law, Court of Appeals case law, and People versus Davey. This court clearly twice told me to give them discovery, 225 Michigan Appeal 502. And they're still violating the court's orders.
Yes, ma'am, we
The
do.
court should exercise the contempt powers and have
How it
these
works.
officers supposedly acting for the court, which are being criminal, to be put in jail until they comply and or fined. Detroit police has a history. They were prosecuted by the Department of Justice in 2001. Then they were under the consent decree into 2013. And they're still committing atrocious criminal behavior and acts against natural persons, natural citizens.
Now, I actually, honestly, I do agree with him there. There is Detroit police is a very problematic department, and the history that they have is just disgusting as far as like civil rights violations. And I think to an extent it's still happening because we're not far enough removed from that, where the old guys train the new guys. Well, these new guys, there's still the trickle down effect. So he's not wrong, but it's not just a conspiracy against him. But if those are the issues, then you need to properly bring those issues before the court. How you're doing it right now is not the right way. You gotta do it the way it works. You have to follow the rules.
You know, Judge, you're familiar with this case law. You're a licensed attorney and an elected or appointed judge. I don't know. But the Supreme Court,
I'm wondering what I did to
Marbury
deserve
versus
this
Madison
today.
rulings, they're decisive, let the decision stand. This court is bound to adhere to Supreme Court rulings. These statutes in which they're charging me with are unconstitutional in violation of the civil rights cases, as well as Cohen versus Virginia, the Supreme Court. And today, again, I respectfully compel this court to adhere to these things. And the Supreme Court says where a court does not have jurisdiction in act, or where they don't have jurisdiction and refuse to act, it's considered treason against the U.S. Constitution. And the paperwork is clear. All parties that I've served these papers on are in default, Your Honor. And I ask that this court, like on page 13 and 14, I clearly stated in the offer, I'm the offerer, they're the offerees. And this process is approved by the Michigan Court of Appeals, Michigan Supreme Court, in which they cite federal court cases on the federal court cases, cite these cases as well. Give me a second, please. On page 13, it says, offerees 1 and 2 agree that all above and below statements are true, and they have until May 24, 2023 to admit or deny the above, and agree that terms, A, failure to hold state laws unconstitutional, and void ab initio, agrees to give me in the sum of $5,000 in gold and silver coins and or Federal Reserve notes and assets in their personal and official capacity. B, failure to dismiss charges with prejudice.
Well, we have to go back because he's talking about gold and silver coin.
And they have until May 24, 2023 to admit or deny the above and agree that terms, A, failure to hold state laws unconstitutional and void ab initio, agrees to give me in the sum of $5,000 in gold and silver coins and or.
Okay, so he wants, I'm not sure who, to agree to his, I guess these are his terms? Is that what's going on? That's not how it works, though, dude.
Or Federal Reserve notes and assets in their personal and official capacity. B, failure to dismiss charges
coins or U.S.
grant
currency.
all of the above, all of the supra and infra agree to give me $500,000 and agree to be charged via MCL 750, 505, 18 USC 241, 18 USC 242 by the U.S. attorney and the state's attorney for their crimes via Turner Associates Inc. versus Small Parks Inc. 59 Federal Subsection
No, it does
674
not
at
work
page
that way.
680 through 82. Eastern District of Michigan, 1999, where they have a legal and moral duty to speak and agree that if they, offerees 1 and 2, try to impair this quasi contract, argue or try to litigate this case further, instead of dismissal with prejudice, agree to give me $1 million in their individual capacity via Holland versus Earl Graves, Publishing Code 46, Federal Subsection 681 at 685 through 687, Eastern District of Michigan. Then there's affidavit of truth. I, Carnell M. McQuarrie Eel, says that the above is true and correct, and email these pleadings to offerees 1 and 2, which is Kim Worthy, as well as this and moral duty to speak. And it is to be charged via MCL 750, 505, 18 USC 241, 18 USC 242 by the U.S. attorney and the state's attorney for their crime.
Zim Zim Shabalaba 869.15K. What laws are these? What are these even about? You're just literally rattling off numbers and nonsense. Gibberish.
Crimes via Turner Associates Inc. versus Small Parks Inc. 59 Federal Subsection 674 at page 680 through 82. Eastern District of Michigan, 1999, where they have a legal and moral duty to speak and agree that if they offer.
Okay, he's literally talking federal court. Sir, you are in front of a district court. Or wait, Judge Sabri might be, I think she's district, as her brother, that's circuit. But you're talking about federal charges, so you have to do that in federal courts, not state court.
Offerees 1 and 2 try to impair this quasi contract, argue or try to litigate this case further, instead of dismissal with prejudice, agree to give me $1 million in their individual capacity via Holland versus Earl Graves, Publishing Code 46, Federal Subsection 681 at 685.
He literally says he wants $1 million now. Dude. Oh my Lord. I'd like $1 million too. I ain't seeing that happening anytime soon.
5 through 687 Eastern District of Michigan. Then there's affidavit of truth. I, Carnell M. McQuarrie Eel, says that the above is true and correct, and email these pleadings to offerees 1 and 2, which is Kim Worthy, as well as this court on May 10th of 2023. And I signed it. The law is clear, Judge. And this court.
Oh, you signed it. Big whoop. I signed like 3 documents on Sunday when I was in the hospital. It doesn't mean nothing. That's literally gibberish, dude. Like, if you want to work the court system, at least learn how to do it properly, because these people are not going to get anywhere if they don't do it the way it's supposed to be done. Otherwise, you're just going to hit roadblock. You're never going to make any headway. Your movement's never going to get any traction.
The court must enforce the laws written by the higher courts. This court is an administrative district court acting on a corporate level, and they cannot.
What is it? Just some nonsense. So, purple spotted elephant likes to hunt teal zebras. Give me $1 million. There we go. I don't know. Like, it's literally nonsense.
They cannot conflict, basically issue their rulings in conflict with federal Supreme Court ruling, which they have taken an oath to do so. If this honorable court refused to do so, it would be treason against the U.S. Constitution.
No, sir, that is not treason. Treason is crimes against the U.S. government, against the country. You are not a country, and you're not the United States, so you can't get treason. Oh my Lord!
And I ask that this case be dismissed at this juncture because statements I have not been given anything by the prosecution and the people. And I would also ask that this court exercise its subpoena power and have Kim Worthy come here. She's not God. She's not a queen. She's not an empress or anything. She's an elected official. And her history precedes herself as committing crimes against citizens like Devontae Safford,
So file a police report.
All
Call
these
the
people that they're
DOJ.
saying that they're trying to help get out of prison under the wrongful convictions unit.
Okay, dude, literally go. You can go to the state attorney general, call their office, and file a complaint. Call or go on the Department of Justice's website. That's how you take care of this stuff. If what you're saying is true or you really think it happened, then those are the avenues that you have to pursue. Not while you're being charged with murder or attempted murder in state court. It's not how it works.
Valerie
Oh,
R. Newman was my former attorney, and that also makes it a conflict of interest because Judge Kirsten Frank Kelly heard
No,
her
it
on
doesn't.
appeal. She let the judge do it, and I had to do almost 16 years in prison for a crime where there was no legal jurisdiction at all. And there's documented evidence, paperwork, court seals, signature, and I'm being criminally retaliated.
No jurisdiction yet. You committed the crimes in the state of Michigan. Yeah, that's jurisdiction, dude.
Yes, by the people. There's no way they can wiggle their way out of this. And I would like these things to be adjudicated and evidence. I would like an evidentiary hearing so we can admit evidence and or suppress evidence. I haven't been given discovery. I didn't even know I had court the first time I came.
This dude's gonna. I like don't need to go crack open a bottle of wine, and I can't drink because I'm sick, dude. Oh my lord.
I had to go online and look it up. These are the games that they're playing. And I would like their oaths of office, their bond.
So if they're playing games, learn their game and play it, and then beat them at it. That's how you do it. That's not that complicated, dude.
As well as other things. You know, because they're committing felonies, Your Honor. All due respect, like I said, I don't have anything personal against this court or anything. I just request that this court adhere to the supremacy clause of the U.S. Constitution and hold that these state statutes in which they have been charged with are constitutional based on the U.S. Supreme Court.
You guys are going to drive me to drink.
What is the case? Cheney versus Winnebago Department of Social Services, there was a young child whom the mother alleges that the father was beating the child. And the child died. The mother sued all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court held that no matter how bad or gruesome that this case was, when it concerned the case, that the states have no duty to protect citizens from other citizens. Anything that compels performance, there has to be a contract. And again,
Sir, that is not what it says. I can promise you that. I don't even know what court case you're talking about. I don't know the case, but I know that's not what it says. It definitely doesn't say that. Whatever it does say, it's definitely not that.
Again, I reserve my rights under UCC 1-308 and the common law UCC 1-103.6.
Oh my God.
And it's clear, Your Honor. And I ask that this court, do their sworn fulfill their sworn oath under the Michigan rules, the Michigan Judicial Code of Conduct. The court is not to be swayed by public opinion.
Sir, that's not before the court. I'm impressed that there's not been a single objection yet.
Opinion, or what the people may think, or whatever it may be. Like the great honorable Judge Dalton A. Robes, when he was in office many years ago, he did the right thing. They tried to get him to send these young juveniles to prison. He said, no, these young men can be.
So it's just shredding paper over there, like done with it.
Rehabilitated. And he sent them to juvenile prison. At this time, the prosecutor then went and attacked this judge. You see what I'm saying? You have a right and a duty to fulfill your constitutional oath, Your Honor, regardless of what they think about you or whatever else. These these statutes in which they're charging me with are unconstitutional. I never signed any agreements with the cities, counties, states, or whatever else to be governed by them.
You didn't have to sign an agreement. You are living here. That is your agreement as a person to follow the rules. When you are here, you have to follow the rules. That's just how it works. That is natural law. That is written law that is the way it works no matter where you go, anywhere in the world. When you are in that country, that town, that village, that whatever, you have to follow their rules. You enter a contract by being there, if you want to call it a contract, because that's how it works. Unless you completely buy some island somewhere that's not then ruled by some other country, then you don't have to follow any other country's laws. That's just how it is.
Them to adhere to their statutorily corporate statutes, which in Coins versus Virginia clearly states this is what the system is about. To create penitentiaries, to create prisons, hospitals, graveyards, streetlights, so on and so forth, in which today we live in this society. This society is clearly the matrix. The legal system is unconstitutional. These are corporate enterprises. They're no different than any other corporate enterprise.
They're talking about being Moroccan citizens. Then move to Morocco. I can promise you, you're not going to like the laws there either. You're not a Moroccan citizen. Where's your citizenship? It doesn't matter if you're a Moroccan citizen. When you're in the U.S., you have to follow the rules here. Duh. That's just how it is.
When they provide services for the citizens. The case law clearly breaks it all down. I've never surrendered my sovereignty. Dred Scott versus Sanford clearly stated that blacks could not be citizens, were never intended to be citizens, and we were 3/4 of human beings. But under the
Dred Scott, okay, no. That has been not appealed. What is the word? Amended, right? We as a nation have changed those laws that were set in the 1700s. Like was it 1876 when the Civil War ended? And then it was, I don't know how much longer after that. Like those laws have changed. So therefore, the old laws are no longer laws. They've been removed from the books. They're not there. So bringing this up is completely asinine, and it is completely irrelevant to literally everything, unless you're talking about a case from back then. But you're not. You're talking about a case from charges from 2022, dude. Things are a lot different now.
Democracy, pardon? 3/5. Under the democracy, which is nothing but the mob rules of the old South and European inhabitants of this country. If someone killed someone, stole something, they were all the mob who walk in, hang them, and do whatever else. So every government is entitled to a Republican form of government, not a corporate. I'm not a corporation, right? I'm a natural person. The case law clearly breaks everything down, which everyone is in default, So I just ask that this court dismiss this case at this juncture. If the court does not, I demand under the supremacy clause, the subpoena power of this court, to have Ken Worthy brought in so we can have an evidentiary hearing before we go any further. Because how can a criminal prosecute or allege that I'm a criminal when they're committing all the crimes, Judge? Since I've been home, I've been making reports of police and other things, violations of law against me at the precinct. And no one listens to me. They disagree.
Then contact the state attorney general. I had to do that years and years ago. I lived in the city of Lansing. I had a restraining order against a guy that lived across the street from me. Literally every female in the neighborhood had restraining orders against him because he was mentally ill and was on drugs. And I would have to call the cops, and they wouldn't even make a report. Which, when you have a restraining order, you have to make the report that he violated it. So they're like, well, what do you want us to do? He's gone now. I'm like, well, make the report that I'm saying that this happened, because he's violating this restraining order. Well, I had cops that weren't making reports. So I went to city council meetings going, hey, this is going on. I need help. When that didn't work, like, it got to the point where the mayor of the city, if I was there, he'd get up and walk out of the meeting as soon as he opened it. He wouldn't stay because I couldn't get to sit down with him. So I went to the state attorney general's office. I went there and I filed a complaint. And I'm not joking, not even 20 minutes after I got home, I had a call from Internal Affairs going, "Woo, we just got this. What's going on?" That's how you do it. You got corrupt cops, then you need to go to the attorney generals. You need to try to get a hold of Internal Affairs. You need to then, or file complaints with the Department of Justice. It has nothing to, it is completely irrelevant to you being tried for murder or attempted murder, great bodily harm, less than murder. It's just not how you do it. It's the wrong venue.
Just ignore me. But when people call and say, well, hey, Mr. McCurry did this, Mr. McCurry did that, they come, then it's found out nothing happened. You see what I'm saying? Like, they even borrowed me from the Secretary of State because I was in there trying to conduct business. Oh, well, we got a call that threats like, oh, we found out you're free to go, but they just don't want you in here. That's not how this.
But who called the police on you? The Secretary of State? Because what were you doing that they felt the need to call the cops on you? And if you're not a U.S. citizen, why are you at the Secretary of State?
How this government works, or the so-called democracy in which you guys call it, but it's supposed to be a Republican form. So.
Oh my Lord! Not Republican. It's a republic. Oh my God!
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here because Mr. McCurry, the defendant, is charged with 10 felony counts. I've heard a lot of law quoted today. From everything from contract to treaties, corporate, but the only type of law that matters today is criminal law. And under our state constitution, this court has jurisdiction. Article 4, Section 15, the circuit court shall have original jurisdiction in the matters not prohibited by law, appellate jurisdiction from all inferior courts and tribunals except for otherwise provided by law, prior to issue here and determine prerogative remedial writs, supervisory and general control over inferior courts and tribunals within the respective jurisdictions in accordance with the rules of the Supreme Court and the jurisdiction of other cases and matters as provided by the Supreme Court. There's MCL section 767.1, several circuit courts of the state, the recorder's court, and any court of record having jurisdiction of criminal causes shall process and may exercise the same power and jurisdiction to hear, try, and determine prosecutions upon information for crimes, misdemeanors, and offenses, to issue writs and process, and do all other acts therein as they possess and may exercise of prosecution upon indictment. And the Michigan court rule, which are passed by the Supreme Court, Rule 6.008, Criminal Jurisdiction, Section A. District Court, the District Court has jurisdiction over all misdemeanors and all felonies through the preliminary examination and until the entry of an order to bind the defendant over to the circuit court. These laws clearly state that this court has jurisdiction over these criminal matters. Furthermore, as far as discovery goes, I personally sent Mr. McCrary twice. This is the material, the discovery material. And I have the emails, copies of the emails to show it if that's necessary.
Dated, what are the dates?
Dates are not on here. May 24th, which was last week, and May 5th. So we sent him the discovery that we have twice now.
What email?
And
I'll just ask what email, because it's not here.
the second email, I copied, paste and copied off the email that I received from his, with his documentation. Just here. So the people would ask that defendant's motion be denied, and this matter is set for preliminary examination, where the people will have to show by probable cause that Mr. McCoy, that a crime was permitted in the jurisdiction of this court in Detroit, state of Michigan, county of Wayne, and that that crime under probable cause was committed by Mr. McCrary. Thank you.
Great, have a chance.
Can I have a rebuttal? A rebuttal, okay, thank you, Your Honor. This gentleman, what's your name again, sir? Sawaki. Mr. Sawaki must be, in no disrespect to him or the court.
Well, don't disrespect.
Well, no, I'm not. No, what I'm saying is, based on his analogy, he's very delusional because the supremacy clause overrides state constitution as well as state laws of Marbury versus Madison, 5 U.S. 137 since 1803. Secondly, in Shaney versus Winnebago Department of Social Services, the U.S. Supreme Court is clear in 489 U.S. 189, 1989, and the civil rights cases, 109 U.S. 3 says the court held the 13th and 14th Amendment did not empower Congress to outlaw racial discrimination by private individuals, as well as the Shaney. They don't have a duty to protect citizens under the 13th and 14th Amendment. Give me 1 second. Okay, give me a second.
He wants to rebut, but I don't know what he's rebutting.
Okay, on page 10, the court held the U.S. Supreme Court under the Supremacy Clause, which is he is bound because, Judge, if you rule against me today, you must hold him in contempt of court and also hold him in treason. The court held the legislative authority of the Union must first make an act of crime, affix a punishment to it, and declare the court that shall have jurisdiction of the offense. Certain implied powers must necessarily result to our courts of justice, but jurisdiction of crimes against the state is not amongst those powers, Judge. See Hudson versus Goodwin, 7 U.S. 32 at 33 and 34, 1812. This is still good law, Judge. He's arguing a state statute or
I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. You're going to see a fat girl eating some Nutty Buddies because my blood sugar is dropping and I'm really hungry. So I know I'm fat and I'm not eating something healthy. Fucking deal with it.
state constitution, which the state received its power from Congress. So how can you buck the system which gave you power to act as a corporate organization? Michigan became a state in 1829, which Congress gave them their power. The U.S. Supreme Court clearly says that, like they say, people of the state of Michigan versus me. You're saying I committed a crime against the state. The Constitution just clearly says that from the U.S. Supreme Court justices in the unanimous decision in which this court, as well as the prosecution under Article 6, Section 3, the executive department has sworn to uphold, as well as the lawyer's oath in the Michigan Bar Journal. Amongst other things, they're committed
that's how it works,
this court cannot conspire or enter into conspiracy with these individuals to violate my constitutional rights, Judge. And the law is clear. One more thing, if I may. My driver's license. And
You
page
have, you
20.
have one? You
Pardon?
have a driver's license?
Yes, ma'am. But I'm about to go here.
Oh,
And it reads that
whoa.
at the onset of these unlawful attacks by the corporations and its criminal agents,
You not only have to be a U.S. citizen, you have to be a citizen of Michigan in order to have a Michigan driver's license. So you, sir, by your own words, are not a sovereign citizen. You just admitted that you are a citizen of the state of Michigan of the United States. So shut your pie hole, dude. You're done.
that he did reserve his rights under UCC 1-308, MCO 440-1308, UCC 1-103.6, Siege offers driver's license. I reserve my rights on my driver's license, Judge, so the state knows this. I've never entered it because I was compelled to have a driver's license.
No, sir.
And
You
what
are
I'm
not
saying is they're
compelled.
committing treason.
No.
Can I see the email? I just want to make sure that.
I can give you my phone. I've never gotten anything. I can show where I sent him the stuff, but I never got anything.
Oh my God. Dude, you just bombed. Oh, you messed up, dude.
It's
You just
Carnell,
fucked yourself.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
MCCRE@gmail.com, which I wrote it down format.
CRE?
Pardon?
Can you spell the whole thing again?
It's Carnell McCreary, MCC. It's my first and last name @gmail.com.
CMCCR.
EARY.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Also, there's a case I didn't bring with me today where concerning this type of document, he's trying to title this promotion, Judge, so it's a quasi contract which is recognized by the Michigan Supreme Court.
You got a license, dude. You entered into that contract.
If it's a quasi contract, he loses the emotion.
I mean, it's
That's
clear.
the way it is. That's what it is.
Well, the federal law says that he cannot just see, and here the Supreme Court said that I'm the legislator of his contract.
Okay.
The litigation.
Yeah, your contract.
That
Yeah,
is
this
not
in
what
the
it says,
Supreme
dude.
Court. They have to obey the Supreme Court. Object.
What part?
I object, Your Honor.
There are some elements that people like to want to.
I haven't finished my
You have to say what
I know.
you're objecting to, dude. Under what grounds?
One of those emails, the E is Michigan in there.
That's not my fault. They violate your order. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is the other one,
One of them has it spelled correctly, one of them does not.
so you should have received one of them,
Nothing.
and neither one of them came back as bad email.
Okay. All right, so Mr. McCurry, I don't know why you're not receiving discovery, you did not receive it.
He didn't send, can we subpoena Google and,
No,
litigate this?
this
and
is
show
No,
that-
you cannot subpoena Google.
Can I say one more thing?
After we get done today, confirm your email address, you can send a test email to make sure that he received it.
Well, he did. It showed me that he got my paperwork. He admitted in the last proceeding that he received my
Okay,
paperwork.
and
So why would he send it? Well, not, why wouldn't I get it back? My email is legit. It's my phone right here.
okay,
Also a jurisdictional challenge.
let's,
Right?
before we get to that, Adrian or Sessions, you want to respond before we read?
Yes, Your Honor, I do want to make a record. You know, this defendant has already availed himself to the jurisdiction of the courts of the state by admitting to having a driver's license. And also further add that the 10th Amendment has allotted and given police powers to the states, which then allows the state to create criminal laws under which this defendant must avail himself to. I further add that, again, as the court has acknowledged, that this defendant has at least once received the discovery to his emails, to his correct email. So any more allegations of not receiving discovery would be improper, given that we have it at least proven that he has it at least once. And there have been no additions or corrections since the discovery was done the first time.
Okay,
May I
Mr.
respond?
McCurry, I'm gonna wrap this up, you can respond and.
Yeah, just briefly if I may.
Sure.
Well, this young lady here to basically
Mr. Sessions,
respond to Mr. Sessions to respond to her statements in Michigan They're locking people up for not having a driver's license. I was compelled,
There are people.
but I reserve my
for
rights. This was the
murdering
law.
people as well.
Pardon?
Oh,
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is the corpus delicti, they're going off written statements. You know, the corpus delicti rule on the Michigan Supreme Court case, as well as the federal court case. Where's the body of a crime? They're saying ammunition, all this, that. Where's the guns at? Where's the victim at? Strangulation, where's all this? Where's the medical?
I wouldn't know because we haven't
And
had
then,
an exam.
okay, but no, jurisdiction, once it's challenged, it must be proven by the people. This is state and federal law from the Michigan court. So I'm demanding that jurisdiction, I mean, they're already in default, but still again, I'm demanding jurisdiction be challenged, personal subject matter and territorial jurisdiction. Even when I was in prison, I had interactions with Kim Worthy, chief prosecuting officer.
wait, you want me to go back?
Prior proceedings. I mean,
Allegations of not receiving discovery.
Okay.
he didn't send, can we subpoena Google and
No.
show that he hasn't
This is
sent
not a
anything?
trial, this is not an evidentiary hearing.
Well, can I say one more thing?
After we get done today, confirm your email address, you can send a test email to make sure that he received it.
Well, he did. It showed me that he got my paperwork. He admitted in the last proceeding that he received my
Okay,
paperwork.
and
So why would he send it? Well, not, why wouldn't I get it back? My email is legit. It's my phone right here.
okay,
Also a jurisdictional challenge.
let's,
Right?
before we get to that, Adrian or Seth, if you want to respond before we continue.
Yes, Your Honor, I do want to make a record. You know, this defendant has already availed himself to the jurisdiction of the courts of the state by admitting to having a driver's license. Also further add that the 10th Amendment has allotted and given complete
Sir,
powers
put
to
your
the
hand
state,
down.
which then allows the state to create criminal laws under which this defendant must avail himself to. I further add that, again, as the court has acknowledged, that this defendant has at least once received the discovery to his emails, to his correct email. So any more allegations of not receiving discovery would be improper, given that we have it at least proven that he has it at least once. And there have been no additions or corrections since the discovery was done the first time.
Ooh.
May I respond?
Everyone to wrap this up, you
No,
guys can
sir.
respond and-
Yeah, just briefly, if I may.
Sure.
Well, this young lady here to basically
Mr. Sessions,
respond, Mr. Sessions, to respond to her statements in Michigan. They're locking people up for not having a driver's license. I was compelled,
there are people.
but I
getting locked up
reserve my
for
rights. This was
murdering
the
people
law.
As well,
Pardon?
Damn!
locked up for murder as well.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm
Yes.
saying is the corpus delicti, they're going off written statements. You know, the
Corpus
corpus
delicti,
delicti
my
rule on the Michigan
ass.
Supreme Court case, as well as the federal court case.
Hold on, I want to hear
Her
that again.
statements in Michigan, they're locking people up for not having a driver's license. I was compelled,
There are people.
but I
getting locked up
reserve
for-
my
for
rights. This was
murdering
the
people
law.
As well.
Pardon?
People getting locked up for murder as well.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is the corpus delicti, they're going off written statements. You know, the corpus delicti rule on the Michigan Supreme Court case, as well as the federal court case.
Oh.
Where's the body of a crime? They're saying ammunition, all this, that. Where's the guns at? Where's the victim at? Strangulation,
This ain't
where's all
trial,
this? Where's the
dude.
medical?
I wouldn't know.
This is not your trial, you ding dong. You already been convicted once, so you know how it works, dude. You've been through this before.
Because we haven't
And
had an
then,
exam.
okay, but no, jurisdiction, once it's challenged, it must be proven by the people. This is state and federal law, from the Michigan court.
Wrong, sir. You have the burden of evidence when you file a motion. So you have to prove that there's not jurisdiction or whatever nonsense you're talking about.
So I'm demanding that I mean, they're already in default, but still again, I'm demanding jurisdiction be challenged, personal subject matter and territorial jurisdiction.
So file the proper motion, because that's how it works.
Even when I was in prison, I had interactions with Kim Worthy, chief prosecuting officer for the state. I reserved my rights in prior proceedings, as well as I was compelled to obtain a driver's license. And I reserved my rights. That's all the law.
You were not compelled to get a driver's license. You might have been compelled to get a state ID, but getting a driver's license, sir, is a privilege. That is a privilege that you are given. So no, you are not compelled to get a driver's license. You live in Detroit. Detroit has public transportation. There is bus, there is the people mover. So for you to say you were compelled to get a driver's license, now someone like me that lives in the middle of nowhere that has to drive 10 miles just to get anywhere, to get to a store or whatever, to get to a big store, yeah, I would technically be compelled. But if that was the issue, I could also move to a bigger city. I could move to Grand Rapids. I could move to Battle Creek. I could move to Kalamazoo, where they have public transportation systems. I could live inside the city of Lansing. So no, sir, you are not compelled by anyone to get a driver's license, especially living in Detroit.
The law mandates that I reserve my rights, which I have done. And right now, this lady, Mrs. Prosecutor, I can't remember her name, Mrs. Sisson, Esquire Sisson, and this gentleman here,
Esquire.
they're in a conspiracy
Oh,
in
God.
violating federal and state law. They're committing crimes, and I demand that their oath of office, their law, their license to practice law, amongst other things, be given to me, as well as their bond, as well as you, Judge, Your Honor. Also, like I say, jurisdiction has been challenged, and they have.
Has that ever worked? Like, where you're like, oh, I want to see your license, blah, blah, blah. Do we know if that's ever worked? Because, like, ever? In the history of all this nonsense, I don't know if it's ever someone's, oh, I want to see your law, your oath of office. Has anyone really ever had to bring it forward? I don't even know what to say.
And they have to prove it first based on the case law, which I have noted in this paper. They can't get around that. We can say, well, yeah, they're talking about reserving rights and all that. Okay, but still the law from the state Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, and federal jurisdictions clearly mandates that once jurisdiction is challenged, the person asserting jurisdiction has to prove it. And all they have is statements. Under the corpus delicti rule, out of court statements is not evidence, so these charges should be dismissed. Where is the body of the crime, Judge? You went to law school, you're a practitioner.
No, because I haven't heard testimony to know.
Well, that's not how it works with jurisdiction.
That's how, so, do you have any last?
No, that is exactly how it works, sir. That is exactly how it works.
Well,
Bless you, Fritz.
Okay, I would like to challenge jurisdiction again, which I have done from the onset of this case. Personal, subject matter, territorial jurisdiction. State and federal case law is clear, in which this court, being inferior to the higher courts, must adhere to their oath of office, their bond, and so on and so forth.
It is a hot mess, Rachel. You are correct.
Michigan rules of Code of Judicial Conduct, and must compel the people to.
He is currently the driver of the Hot Mess Express. I will gladly give up that title for this guy, this moron. Anyway, hold on, I have to hit play again.
Prove jurisdiction, which they're asserting. Where's the proof? You have to show this court. That's at any stage of the proceeding, the law allows you.
So on discovery, I saw paperwork, marking the email address that you provided to the court is not a record, that discovery was sent. I'm not sure if it's an email, there's another email you would like to be sent to, I will ask the prosecutor to do so. 2, for requesting license numbers from everyone. My name is right here in front of you. You go right on State Bar. RP numbers are available for you to look up as they are for any general public. Okay.
There you go.
As far as venue, jurisdiction, and you mentioned this, you don't know whether I was appointed or elected, I was both. So I took an oath, uphold the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of this state to the best of my ability. And with that, I hear cases.
You know, I'm going to be honest. I haven't talked to Stuart since last Thursday, but if you go back to the beginning of the live stream, I have been extremely sick. I was rushed to the hospital early Sunday morning. I have colitis and diverticulitis. My white cell count was almost completely off the charts. So I've been a little sick. I should text him though, so thank you for reminding me. I am gonna text him.
There were committed crimes that were allegedly committed in the city of Detroit that is the venue for this court. I know that you disagree, but I am letting you know that's what I have to follow based off of the oath that I took. And the right to have exams is under Michigan Court Rule 6.10 that governs preliminary exams, as well as MCL 6766.1 talks about your statutory right, not constitutional right, but statutory right to have an exam. And under, let's see here, where should I go next? I'm not going to continue citing the law, but under MCL 600.8317, I have the power to hear preliminary examination matters. MCL 766.1 gives me jurisdiction, and it states in Attorney General 129, Mich. App 128, specifically page 132, which is the 1983 case, and the district court has no authority to grant a motion for change of venue before a preliminary examination is held. The statute granting courts of record authority to change venue in criminal cases is only applicable to circuit courts in felony cases. Here at the district court level, we have not heard any testimony. I don't know about this case. So I am denying your request. I will call a motion regarding venue, as well as jurisdiction, or any allegations at this point that the people have been conspiring or conspiring to commit crimes. I would like to hear the testimony from the allegations, from the information and the complaint. So I would like to set this for an exam date so that we can move forward and actually hear testimony so I can make a decision as to whether or not the probable cause is the crime is existed. McCreary, I know you're not happy with my decision. You know the right, you know your rights and what you can do. You do not agree, but we need to get an exam put on the calendar. And of course, you have a right to an attorney. You have exercised the right to not have one.
Oh, he totally screwed himself over with admitting that he has a driver's license. That right there shut down everything. His claims of he didn't enter into the contract, he didn't, whatever, compelled or not, dude. A license isn't compelled. I could understand saying that about a state ID because you're required to get a state ID when you turn, I think, 16. I'm not sure. You are required to have a state issued identification card that's separate than a driver's license. So yeah, if you wanted to say, well, I had to have a state ID, yep, I can agree with that, but not a driver's license. That is a privilege, sir. You pay for that privilege. Every time you have to renew your license, you're paying for it. So don't give me this crap about how you didn't enter into the contract, because yeah, you did. And Rachel, yes, a driver's license is a privilege. Absolutely. It is not a right. It is a privilege to drive here. Nobody is, sorry, Luna just took a dive. My stunt dog. No one is required to have a driver's license. You're required to have a license if you're going to drive. That's just the rules. So, yeah. Oh, dude, you messed up so bad. So bad. You just, and it's a part of the record. And they can bring that up every time now. The state has this against you. You messed up, buddy. You are not, you take off your fez. You don't even deserve to wear the fez. I am removing your privilege of wearing a fez anymore. You no longer are a fez.
But I like to set a date for the exam and move forward from there.
Not displace my objections. I mean, you made your rule, but
And
now
I said I know
place,
you were
yes,
objecting.
now place my, no, I'm saying I have to do it verbally. I mean, for me reviewing past cases from the higher courts, it has to be in the lower court record. I would ask that this court allow an interlocutory appeal to the Michigan, to the Wayne County Third Circuit Court under MCR 7.101, 7.102, as well as I would like this case to be removed to the federal court under 28 USC 1441 through 1449, because this court, with all due respect, has committed treason against me and conspiracy with the state. Because under federal law, I had brought a federal question. Once a federal question is presented to this court must rule based on the federal question.
Wrong. It's the wrong jurisdiction. Judge Sabri has no federal jurisdiction whatsoever. She is a Michigan District Court judge, not federal. So bringing a federal question, no, you gotta file. It's not a question, it's a motion. You don't bring a question. You've got to file the actual motion, because that's how it works.
Which this court has clearly ignored. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying what the court, what the case law
You
says.
can't just come in here and raise a federal question and be able to shop.
Well, even the state says jurisdictional challenge.
Well,
I brought both
understand-
case laws.
I understand that you're making a record, but until the exam is held, I can't change it based off of what I have.
Oh, no, I understand, but I'm saying you can make other decisions and rulings of law. May I ask this question? Is it okay for the court to ignore U.S. Supreme Court case law, which is in a superior court to this inferior court here, a district court? And I would, ask that this be removed to the federal court for adjudication, as well as Wayne County.
And I just said that until the exam is held, I can't change media.
But I'm just saying the jurisdictional challenge, they're bound to respond, Judge. And the case law is clear, and this court is ignoring state and federal case law, which they're
I'm ignoring anything. I sat here, I have a timer on my phone. I sat here and listened to you talk for 34 minutes and 54 seconds. So I don't think that I'd ignored much of anything.
Well,
The average judge would not sit here and let you talk this long.
Yep.
There are time limits on and requests. So I think I've done a great job of not ignoring. I've heard everything you said. I've read your paperwork and I've addressed it and responded. I just don't agree with it. So I understand your objection. If you don't agree with anything that I've said, I understand that. And I am ready to set an exam date.
I'm being compelled. May I have your bar number, Judge? Because it's not up there.
Look it up with my name.
I thought this was public information.
I gave you the freedom to go to the library. So you do it yourself.
And then also, I need their name.
Yes.
I don't know how to spell their names. I mean, can they write their names down for me?
You emailed them
Attorney
stuff.
Grievous complaints with the Attorney Grievous Commission, Your Honor.
So
I don't know their first and last names. I need this to petition the
I'd like
Attorney
to set an
Grievous.
exam date.
I mean, I'm being compelled to go to them.
So we're gonna.
Violation of federal and state law.
For June.
Yes, Queen. We have Queen Judge Leah Sabri. Judge Sabri. Yes, Queen. You need a crown. I need to get a crown to her now.
June 13th. I don't know if that works. Go first.
Yeah, that's my birthday. Y'all trying to bring me on my birthday.
Your Honor,
Wait, nobody. No, dude.
Okay, let's not do that day.
Well,
Dude, the judge could.
I'm not gonna have to do it first.
okay. I mean, I would like their names. That's all I need, so I can go
I
to
would
the
like
federal
to set an
courts.
exam date.
Things of that name. I mean, I'm being compelled. Judge, right now, you have me here under threat, duress and coercion. I can't even work, support myself.
I allow
No.
you.
Well, it's
sir.
across the street, but that's not every day.
That's what you have.
And people have been contacting
asked
me.
for.
Okay, no, I understand, but people have been contacting me about a job. I've been in the community. I've been home.
You want to address bond? You can address
Sure.
bond after we get an exam date.
Well, I'm just gonna have a tether on. I'm not gonna run out in the door and let them get
What
me.
you're going to do, but I want to set an exam date.
I mean, I'm compelled. I mean, that's your.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, I need to set an exam date still. But you could feel
This
the
dude.
June 15th.
I'm here that day, Your Honor.
Okay,
Stand by, Your Honor.
okay. Mr. McCreary, can you do 9:30?
I mean, I'll be here.
Yes,
Anytime you want me here, I'll be here. But I would also need, I mean, they're saying about
Well,
the
he's
email,
being
why can't they
compelled.
just print it off like they used to back in the day? It's a violation of MCR 6.201,
Oh,
like when I
Lord,
asked their
shut
bond
up.
numbers and other things.
You just
That's
asked.
pertinent. I
Your
did, and they
Honor,
told me they
just
weren't gonna do
Your
it
Honor,
last time we were here.
Mr. Byrd, does the record reflect that I have
You agree he's a
15
dumbass?
pages of discovery that I now hand to the defendant. This is all that we have.
Is it complete? Because I would like an in-camera review of your file as well, on
It
MCR
is.
6.201. Can I review his file on the MCR 6.201? So,
Commissioner
because
Hood.
they have a history of holding stuff back from, which is all,
That's not an
document.
allegation for people you don't even know.
what, it's, no, what I'm saying, they're off, Kim Worthy's office, they work in behalf, they're her supporters. Notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal is notice the agent. I'm
Put
stating
on the
federal
record
law.
first that Mrs. Milwaukee has handed over 15 pages of a hard copy of the discovery.
Is there medical reports in here
Woo!
as well? Because he said someone was shot and beat up and, where's the ammunition? I need pictures of the guns and all the stuff. These fictitious guns and everything that they're talking about they have.
You think that there's
No, what I'm saying is they say ammunition,
Whoa.
guns, and other charges. Where's the evidence? This is just
It's not an
allegations,
evidentiary
violation of
hearing right now,
operations of the United
sir.
States. Like, even if I went into a precinct and confessed,
Okay, let me get the date, June 15th at 9:30.
Okay.
They discovered the evidence by the day, additional discovery.
Let's see. June 15th.
I would request additional discovery.
There's
if I
no
may.
digital discovery to turn over the people.
Oh, digital.
can have it.
Oh, guess what we're watching? Because that's a
Well,
Thursday.
can I request additional discovery because I would like to say this if I may. Kim Worthy, I believe it was
You
last
don't
year.
have to say, you just ask for a discovery order
Okay.
to sign.
Well, yes, but I would like to tell you why,
I would
for the court
object,
to
Your
rule.
Honor. I'm going to object to the defense bringing up any issues of Tim Worthy and past experience.
She's
With
the
this court,
prosecutor.
Your Honor, I am asking the ability to speak uninterrupted from this defense.
Yes.
The defendant has now on more than one occasion raised issues of past cases. Those cases are not relevant to this hearing. If people ask that this court prevent the defendant from raising any issues of past hearings or past experiences with this office so that we can focus on this hearing alone. The people have turned over all the evidence that is available to the defendant. Have not turned over, we have turned over everything in our possession that we can to the defendant. If the defendant wishes to seek any other items or specificity, he would have to place that in writing.
Well, there's, if I may respond, there's case law from the Michigan Court of Appeals that rebuts what you say. It's for purposes of impeachment. I've done it in many other cases, People versus Satterway, to test credibility. And this
The
is law.
prosecutor and I both just said that if you want to request anything else that we don't know if it exists, put it right.
Right. Well, my thing is,
Oh,
Mr.
I need to
McCurry,
acknowledge that.
oh, I mean, I hear you. And I respect what she's saying, but she's totally wrong. How can
But
you
you
bust the
don't.
Michigan Court of
So
Appeals?
what do you want? You just
Well,
asked for
I was
discovery.
trying to say before
So-
she cut me off, that Kim Worthy issued a list saying that officers who have testified in the past and
Sure, that's a-
falsely in court cannot testify in the future. My brother has committed perjury in Chief Judge Burke's courtroom,
Okay, these are
in
all
Wayne
things
County.
that
and I would
will
like
come
to,
out.
and I had the evidence here, I would like to admit it in evidence.
Those are all things that you can bring up during the exam. If he gets to take the stand, you can address all of that, okay?
Well, I'm entitled to an evidentiary and to admit evidence.
And that's what you're trying to schedule.
Evidence is going to be presented. Yeah, we can play when it shows up, okay?
Well, I hope he does, because it's not gonna look good for him. And they refuse to
Oh, Lord.
prosecute him for crimes against me.
My question is, do you still want to move forward, representing yourself on the exam?
Ah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. I just wanna make sure-
I'm entitled to that under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
And no one is
Article 1,
disputing
Section
that,
13.
right?
I just
Michigan
asked you
Constitution.
procedurally so that we can be prepared for the 14th, how we're going to do, or 15th, whether you want to turn here or not. That's all. So if you do, Mr. Washington needs to prepare. If not, then we're going to continue our having our weapon.
Well, I request that all prosecution witnesses be put on the stand per the court rule, as well as the
You can
defense
call them
witnesses.
to the stand. You have a right to call witnesses. So if you want them on the stand.
Subpoena
you have to
them.
Call them as your witness.
I would like to call Kim Worthy. How do I go about doing this? Getting your subpoena
Oh,
power?
maybe you need an attorney.
Your assistant of subpoena power to bring her into court. Because the case law is clear from the Michigan Court of Appeals that I can bring in evidence in prior cases where the prosecution has committed criminal and constitutional
No, you
violations.
can't.
I'm not bringing him on the stand unless you the witness.
I'm saying she's the chief officer.
If she's not a witness in this case, I'm not calling her to the stand.
You want to bring someone to this case. It has nothing to do with this case, but a previous case. Are you sure you want to open that door? Because then the state could point out to the jury that you're already a felon and you did time in prison for whatever crime it was that you committed before. Are you sure you want to ring that bell, sir? Maybe, just maybe, you want to get an attorney. Because I can think of a whole life worth of reasons why you might want an attorney.
Well, can I call her? I can call her as a witness.
No, you
Which
cannot.
just did.
Subpoena her.
Okay, so can the court assist me with that? In the subpoena?
That's what-
you have Mr. Washington for. I'm not involved in helping you with your case. That's not my
Well,
job.
sua sponte, the law says
No.
sua sponte, you
I'm
can.
not helping you with your case.
I mean, I'm not trying to get you, I'm saying so far as the issuing the order for subpoena to bring her in as well as other witnesses. I have other
Mr.
witnesses. that are
Washington
like-
is a very trained and knowledgeable attorney. He can tell you what you do if you like to.
Ooh, sir.
Anything from either party.
Oh, you want-
Can you give me your name, sir? And both of you guys' names, so I may,
Oh my God.
File agreements.
I mean,
Who's gonna
I have a
willingly
right.
say, here's my name, so you can file agreements?
I mean, that's
Put a
the
lien on my
law.
house.
This is the law. The law for the Michigan Supreme
Your
Court.
Honor, just so that the record is clear, both Mr. Salviki and I placed our names and key numbers on the record at the start of this case. Our names
I
are
don't know how
also
to
in,
spell it.
our names are also in emails that were sent with the discovery to the defendant.
Oh, yes.
So we're gonna go off the record. We're done with this for today.
All right. So, in 2 weeks, we're going to be right back here, 1:15, and we're going to watch that hearing, which I believe they're trying to set the date for the evidentiary hearing. So, all of his nonsense about evidence, this is the time. Hold on. Ah. So, in 2 weeks, June 15th, we will have a follow-up. He better not be wearing no fez hat either, because he revoked his right to the fez because he has a state driver's license. Okay, guys, I did talk to Stuart Hanty. He's having some health issues, so if we could pray for him. You saw me get very distracted. My mom texted me my dad is going back into the hospital. So if you guys pray or whatever your belief system is for some good health for me and Stuart Hanty and my dad, and I would greatly appreciate it. I need to get off here and coordinate with my mom because I know she was not prepared to go to the hospital. So I've got to get out of here. I thank you guys for joining me. As you've seen in the bottom, along the bottom is the ticker, is a GoFundMe. That is for Detective Rachel McCray, her daughter, this lady, her daughter, going to nursing school. She just graduated high school, but she also went to like a VOTEC school and is, I believe, nursing assistant, I believe, if I remember correctly. That was a week ago. So, little sketch with my memory. But she's going into nursing school, and this is to help cover some of her expenses. If you have some pennies you could throw that way. Yep, she's a CNA, so certified nursing assistant. If you have some extra pennies and you feel it in your heart, please donate to Rachel's daughter, Alexia, going to nursing school. I will see you guys likely. Oh, there's Siri. She's butting her head in. She's saying it's time. Thank you for joining me, Chima Gwitch. I will see you most likely next Thursday, 1:30, 1:15, one of those times. Anyways, Chima Gwitch, thank you, and we will see you next time.